Hello, my darlings, and hope you're in the mood for another Grimm tale. Okay, I could not resist. It's way too easy, and I'm way too excited. It's my favorite time of year, so I am leaning full in to spooky season on my channel. And if that's not your thing, don't worry, I still got you covered. We got all the not dark fairy tales, mostly. Some cute animals, some, action thrillers, all the good stuff linked in the playlist down below. So feel free to peruse to your heart's content, and hopefully you find something you like. Because today it's a Grimm tale. I did a series of these last year. I think I read 12, like all the darker version of the classics that we all know and love from Disney. So I hope you're in the mood for that. And hopefully you like it here. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the upcoming fun that I have planned for you. Or just, if you just want to look at the cute animals, they'll be back on Wednesday. So, and I hope you're all doing really well. And like I said, I hope you're in the mood for a Grimm with 2 M's tale. Because we read Cinderella and Rapunzel and Sleeping Beauty and all the good stuff last year, but this is a big book. There are 250 tales in here. Some of them longer than others, and 12 isn't even scratching the surface. But my channel has grown since then, mostly probably due to Lil Man and JB. But I thought this would be the perfect time of year to get back into it and start off just straight up from the beginning, unless y'all know what's in here and y'all have a preference. Drop a line, let me know, and maybe that will be the next one that I read. I don't know about y'all, but I'm excited. But also, in case you've noticed, like I said, I'm getting into it, so I got to show you my shirt for this one. I got your back, ha. And y'all can't get the full effect because it's daytime and the lights are on, because I don't know about y'all, but I can't read print in the dark. I might go by cat, but I don't actually have cat eyes. I need my glasses. So, well, let's see if we can actually get to the first page. So, and I will be rocking some Halloween for all my videos this month, because it's October. You gotta set the scene and dress the part. It's fun. So, well, I found the page. It starts a bit in there. We got a lot of intro and several pages of here's what's in here. But this one is the Frog King, or Iron Henrich. I have no idea what this is. And it's a little shorty, like 3-page one. So, shouldn't take us too long. And hopefully it's a good one. Nice and grim, shall we say? In olden times, when wishing still helped, there lived a king whose daughters were all beautiful, but the youngest was so beautiful that the sun itself, which had seen many things, was always filled with amazement each time it cast its rays upon her face. Now, there was a great, dark forest near the king's castle, and in this forest, beneath an old linden tree, was a well. Whenever the days were very hot, the king's daughter would go into this forest and sit down by the edge of the cool well. If she became bored, she would take her golden ball, throw it into the air, and catch it. More than anything else, she loved playing with this ball. One day, it so happened that the ball did not fall back into the princess's little hand. Hey, little baby hands like me! As she reached out to catch it. Instead, it bounced right by her and rolled straight into the water. The princess followed it with her eyes, but the ball disappeared, and the well was deep, so very deep, that she could not see the bottom. She began to cry, and cried louder and louder. There was nothing that could comfort her. As she sat there grieving over her loss, a voice called out to her. "What's the matter, princess? Your tears could move even a stone to pity." She looked around to see where the voice had come from, and saw a frog sticking his thick, ugly head out of the water. Ooh, I think I know what this tale is going to be reminiscent of. "Oh, it's you, you old water splasher," she said. "I'm crying because my golden ball has fallen into the well." "Be quiet and stop crying," the frog responded. "I'm sure I can help you, but what will you give me if I fetch your plaything?" Whatever you like, dear frog. My clothes, my pearls and jewels, even the golden crown I'm wearing on my head." "I don't want your clothes, your pearls and jewels, or your golden crown," the frog replied. "But if you will love me and let me be your companion and playmate, and let me sit beside you at the table, eat from your little golden plate, drink out of your little cup, and sleep in your little bed. If you promise me all that, I'll dive down and retrieve your golden ball." "Oh, yes! I'll promise you anything if you want, if only you bring me back the ball." However, she thought, what nonsense that stupid frog talks. He just sits on the water croaking with the rest of the frogs. How can you expect a human being to accept him as a companion? Once the frog had her promise, he dipped his head under the water, dived downward, and soon came paddling back to the surface with the ball in his mouth. When he threw it onto the grass, the princess was so delighted to see her beautiful plaything again that she picked it up and ran off with it. "Wait, wait!" cried the frog. "Take me with you! I can't run like you!" He croaked as loudly as he could, but what good did it do? She paid no attention to him. Instead, she rushed home and soon forgot about the poor frog, who had climbed back down into his well. The next day, as she sat at the table with the king and his courtiers and ate from her little golden plate, something was crawling splish, splash, splish, splash, up the marble steps. When it reached the top, it knocked on the door and cried out, "Princess, youngest daughter, open up!" She ran to see who was outside, but when she opened the door and saw the frog, she quickly slammed the door shut and went back to the table in a state of fright. The king could clearly see her heart was thumping and said, "My child, what are you afraid of? Has a giant come to get you?" "Oh no, it's not a giant, but a nasty frog." "What does a frog want from you?" "Oh, dear father, yesterday when I was sitting and playing near the well in the forest, my golden ball fell into the water, and because I cried so much, the frog fetched it for me. And because he insisted, I had to promise he could be my companion. But I never thought he'd get out of the water. Now he's outside and wants to come in and be with me." Just then there was a second knock at the door. They never figure out it's me. And a voice cried out, "Princess, princess, youngest daughter, open up and let me in. Have you forgotten what you promised? Down by the well's cool water? Princess, princess, youngest daughter, open up and let me in." "Well, it's okay, you goofballs. They're good guardians, but they're not too smart." "Well, that'll teach me to trick them, but now we get a cute little Fanny. Yes. Is it safe now?" I don't think she believes me. Then the king said, "If you made a promise, you must keep it. Go and let him in." "Yes. Do I need to let you in, big girl?" After she went and opened the door, the frog hopped into the room and followed her right to her chair, where he plopped himself down and cried out, "Lift me up beside you." She refused until the king finally ordered her to do so. Once the frog was on the chair, he wanted to climb onto the table, and when he made it to the table, he said, "Now push your little golden plate nearer to me so we can eat together." And we even get a little picture on the page there. Not sure how well y'all can see that between the shadow and the glare, but we got the cute little froggy and the, snobby princess sharing a meal. To be sure, she did this, but it was quite clear that she did not like it. The frog enjoyed his meal, while each bite the princess took got stuck in her throat. Finally, he said, "I've had enough, and now I'm tired. Carry me upstairs to your room and get your silken bed ready so we can go to sleep." The princess began to cry because the cold frog frightened her. She did not even have enough courage to touch him, and yet now she was supposed to let him sleep in her beautiful, clean bed? But the king gave her an angry look and said, "It is not proper to scorn someone who has helped you when you were in trouble." So she picked up the frog with her 2 fingers and carried him upstairs and set him down in a corner. Soon after she had got into bed, he came crawling up to her and said, "I'm tired and want to sleep as much as you do. Lift me up or I'll tell your father." This made the princess extremely angry. After she picked him up, She threw him against the wall with all her might. Now you can have your rest, you nasty frog. Poor Froggy, they're so cute. However, when he fell to the ground, he was no longer a frog, but a prince with kind and beautiful eyes. So, in keeping with her father's wishes, she accepted him as her dear companion and husband, whereupon the prince told her that a wicked witch had cast a spell over him, and no one could have got him out of the well except her. And now he had intended to take her to his kingdom the next day. Then they fell asleep, and in the morning, when the sun woke up, a coach drawn by 8 white horses came driving up. The horses had ostrich plumes on their heads and harnesses with golden chains. At the back of the coach stood faithful Heinrich, the young king's servant. He had been so distressed when he had learned his master had been turned into a frog that he had ordered 3 iron bands be wrapped around his heart to keep it from bursting from grief and sadness. But now the coach had come to bring the young king back to his kingdom, and faithful Heinrich helped the prince and princess into it, and then took his place at the back again. He was overcome by joy because his master had been saved. When they had traveled some distance, the prince heard a cracking noise behind him, as if something had broken. He turned around and cried out, "Heinrich, the coach is breaking!" "No, my lord, it is really nothing but the band round my heart, for it nearly fell apart when the witch did cast her spell, and made you live as a frog in a well." The cracking noise was heard 2 more times along the way, and the prince thought each time the coach was breaking. But the noise was only the sound of the band snapping from faithful Heinrich's heart, for he knew his master was safe and happy. Well, I didn't see that one coming. Get, saved from a curse by getting flung into a wall. Well, hopefully you like that and the little view of Franny after she's done cussing out the imaginary people. Oh well. Sometimes you just gotta prank the dogs. It's just a little too easy. You'd think after all these years they'd get it, but they also still cuss at the TV whenever a doorbell goes off. So we can't watch Family Guy anymore because there's way too many doorbells. But I will see you soon. If you have any recommendations of any stories you'd like read from Grimm Tales that I haven't already done, let me know. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Happy reading.